In fact, US President Donald Trump has just put out a tweet in which he has said that it was an honor to speak with Prime Minister Modi of India this morning. He is one of my greatest friends and a powerful and respected leader of his country. We spoke about many things, including trade and ending the war with Russia and Ukraine. He agreed to stop buying Russian oil and to buy more from the United States. This will help end the war in Ukraine. Out of friendship and respect for Prime Minister Modi, and as per his request, effective immediately, we agreed to a trade deal between the US and India, whereby the US will charge a reduced reciprocal tariff, lowering it from 25% to 18%. They will likewise move forward to reduce their tariffs and non-tariffs barriers against the United States. So it's very clear. The indication has come in. The Prime Minister also committed to buy American at a much higher level, in addition to over $500 billion of US energy and all. The Prime Minister Modi and I are two people that get things done. So the message is clear. We agreed to a trade deal between the US and India, whereby the US will charge a reduced reciprocal tariff, lowering it from 25% to 18%. So a trade deal is through, is the indication, and that is coming in directly from US President Donald Trump. Rohit is joining us from Washington, D.C. Rohit, how should this tweet of President Trump be seen? He has posted on Truth Social.
So this is, again, as I was saying earlier, I got two positive messages from within the White House. I got a thumbs up and I got another great smiley that said finger crossed, things will happen. We're trying to break down this essentially. I'm trying to get more details onto, does this mean that the 25% punitive tariffs are off? And then are they removing those reciprocal tariffs from 25% to 18%, effectively lowering the tariffs to 18%. So I think that's the confirmation I'm trying to get right now, Maria. But as we were anticipating, as the sources had confirmed, both here in Washington, D.C., in the White House, and Pranay was talking to somebody, and you were talking to somebody at the PMO. This is a big deal. I think the President Trump has finally, he was tweeting, and he was trying to make sure that there is a setup to when he announces this. As I was saying, there's another 3:30 p.m. Signing ceremony. We do not know what that is, but he's gone ahead and announced it in total Trump, fashion, talking about that India is going to be, again, purchasing less oil, purchasing energy from the US, and then he's reducing this reciprocal tariff from 25% to 18%. We're just trying to understand, does that also include removing those 25% punitive tariffs that were put on India, and then reducing the initial reciprocal tariff, which is what it looks like, from 25% to 18%, Maria?
Okay, so Raj, how are you looking at this? Because there's no clarity whether the 25% punitive tariff, which was 25% plus 25%, putting it around 50% in all for India, the total tariff, that there's no clarity whether that 25% punitive tariff has been removed. He has said that there is lowering of reciprocal tariff from 25% to 18%. How should this be seen then, Raj?
Well, let's wait for more clarification from there. But let's also say that this is really big news. This is a big bang thing that's happened. Good for India that this has happened after so much waiting. This was something that India was hoping that would happen. And he's reduced it from 25% to 18%. That's the first victory. Second victory would, of course, getting the 25% off the Russian tariff that, for us importing Russian oil, if that goes, then that's really, really big stuff that's happened. Very, very important because let's not forget, US is our largest trading partner. And if this tariff issue gets out of the way, we have had a great relationship with America for the last 20 years, built it over that. We can see a lot of restoration of that. Right now, there's a lot of distrust that had happened in the past, in 2025. If this is going to happen, and we can see that President Trump, as he famously does, has tweeted it, which means things are going to happen. You're right, we need that clarification about that 25%, but I think it's going to be coming because he's talked to Venezuela. There seems to be a deal on that we would not be importing Russian oil. Instead, we would pick up a certain amount of Venezuelan oil as well as, make sure we get some American oil that we're doing. Notice, Maria, that we had reduced in December the amount of oil that we were importing from Russia. There were big signals that were coming. We also, not only in the budget, where we reduced the duties for importing of nuclear stuff, nuclear material of whatever kind, equipment and others, not the plutonium or any of the hot stuff, but yes, we've reduced tariff on all that, and we have signed what is called the G-Shanti G bill, which opens the entire thing, not just for private sector, the entire nuclear sector that was very protected in the past, not just to Indian private sector, but to American private sector and other countries as well. And remember, Maria, just a bit of history, 1998, we do the nuclear test. There was a lot of trouble that happened.
That's right.
And then we signed the nuclear deal. And one of the things of the nuclear deal is we will buy some nuclear power stations from or power equipment from the US. That hasn't fructified with G-Shanti bill that has happened, G-Ram G bill. That is now going to change the entire thing. Sorry, this is G-Shanti, the other one.
Yes. G-Ram-G is Manrega.
Manrega, yes,
That's
sorry.
right. Let me bring in Pranay Upadhyay now. So Pranay, Donald Trump says, US President says, that the trade deal between India and US have been agreed upon is what Rohit come in now, is being said by Donald Trump. Of course, we'll wait for what has been agreed upon and what is being said by the Indian side. We have seen in the past, Donald Trump has taken to Truth Social to make multiple announcements, but we have to wait for clarity and more details to emerge from our side, which is the Indian side. Perhaps the Minister of External Affairs and the Prime Minister's office will be giving us some details of how the talks have proceeded and what was the nature of conversation, what did Prime Minister Modi communicate to Donald Trump. But what has been put out by US President is that the US will charge a reduced reciprocal tariff, lowering it from 25% to 18%. Rohit, the first indication was, and that was being anticipated and read in multiple circles in New Delhi, that first step would be doing away with the punitive tariff because of India buying Russian oil. That 25%, there's no clarity on that. And then only we'll be looking at this 25% being reduced to 18% now. You have to unmute yourself, Rohit.
Apologies, I'm trying to do too many things at the same time. So yes, it is the reciprocal tariffs, right, which was 25%. That has been reduced to 18%. And we do not have a clear answer if they've also removed the punitive tariffs that obviously were put on because India is still buying oil from Russia. So what I am picking up right now is this is an incremental progress is what I've been told. As soon as India starts purchasing oil from America, I think those 25% punitive tariffs will also go away. But this is a clear indication that that's where we're headed with this. They are saying that this is the reciprocal tariffs. That was 25%. I mean, other countries, and I'll give you an example of Pakistan, probably it has it at 19%. So India is at 18%. And then once India starts buying more energy oil from the US, Venezuela, which is what President Trump has said multiple times, I think that's when those punitive tariffs will go away. Again, we have to wait and watch, but at least that is the understanding right here in Washington, D.C., that the reciprocal tariffs has been reduced to 18%. No official word on those 25% punitive tariffs. But again, this is I'm quoting from my source, this is an iterative process. We're making great progress here. Those reciprocal tariffs have been reduced, and we will see at what happens with those punitive tariffs, Maria.
Okay.